But today we're going to take a look at this guy here. And this is the, like I said, Fenix FD30. It's a single 18650 light. It did not come with a battery. Get the gratuitous little back of the box shot there. There's your little modes and run times and that. Run times I got were pretty close to this. I did not record them, but I do remember that they were pretty close, like within 10 minutes. I didn't test down on the low and the eco modes, but I did test the starting from turbo and then starting from high, and my run times were, I'd say, within 10 minutes. So what it comes with, pretty standard typical stuff Fenix comes with. Their Fenix little holster here. This looks a little tight and unused. It's because I never actually used this. I used a different sheath, but you can see it fits in there pretty tight. I imagine it loosened up a little bit with use, but I didn't use it. But it's you know, got a little bit of open space at the bottom, a little bit of open space at the top. Pretty typical for theirs. They do have a little bit of variance in their sheaths, but so it's kind of nice in the one respect that it's there is some space at the top, but it's not, you know, it's little enough that you probably won't have much trouble with it falling out. And just the single thin belt loop there. It's not Velcro, it's sewn on, that Fenix uses. And then of course you have an instruction manual, several languages there. The standard Fenix lanyard. It's just nothing out of the ordinary there. And then of course you got a spare O-ring, and that's a spare tail switch cover there. So the single 18650 light, like we said there. Sorry, I'm getting a little screwed up. I'm outside my normal environment there. So this is a 3400 milliamp battery, just for a size reference there. And that's about how big the light is there. So features of the light, it does have some of the standard Fenix stuff. Got a pretty good strong pocket clip there. It's not something I use, but it is pretty strong. And the clip does stay on the light itself very well, and it does not rotate much. Like you can see, it's a little bit off center. I tend to keep it in center with there. I index where the side switch is off of the pocket clip there. It will move a little bit over time, taking it out of and putting it in the holster again, but it's really very little there. And you can see the little flat spots there, and then again up here, that's what Fenix uses for anti-roll. And tail switch does have a momentary on and constant on, so they call it a tactical tail switch. I'm not real fond of calling everything with momentary on a tactical tail switch, because I mean, if you're using this for, I don't know, it just seems like you would want a quiet tail switch if you're buying this for some sort of tactical purposes. So it does have momentary on and then constant on, so I'm sure you heard that. Side switch is pretty quiet, and it just you know, typical 2-button light. Just hit the side button to go through modes, and then hold it down, and you can see a little bit of blink there. There's your strobe. Just hit it again to turn it off. So this is IP68 rated, so entirely protected from ingressive dust, and they are saying it is waterproof. Is it 2 meters? The 8 is 2 meters, and I believe the instructions said for up to 30 minutes. And you've got that, and you got your heat warning there. So the other thing that makes this different, like one of the main thing that makes this different, is the FD line is focusing. So you can see this part right here, that's the ring that you turn to focus the light, and you can see the heads kind of moving as you do that. And then you can look in there and you can see what it's doing, and you kind of get the gist of it. So I used to have the FD20. I ended up selling that, and it's the same idea, except that one was all that one didn't have a side switch. It was all done through the tail cap, and there was no momentary on. And that one would tail stand, but this one does not. it just won't do it. The button sticks out a little bit more, but they made this more tactical, with tactical use in mind, I guess. So the button's sticking up a little bit, and you have a little bit less protection around the edges. So there's ample protection. It didn't come on a bunch of times on me on accident, but it's just if you're wearing gloves, or it just makes it easier and faster if the button sticks up and there isn't a full ring around it. So, but the focusing part is the main separator for the FD line, and there's also the FD31, I think it is. That one's got a larger head and it throws out a little bit further. They're saying this one throws to about 200 meters on turbo, and I'll say useful to about 150, 180. I've actually dropped this several times already, and it's fine. The finish didn't even really get marred on it, but I was carrying this for work for a couple of months in between times when I was testing other lights, so it's gotten quite a bit of use. I will say other differences other than a side switch for the FD20. This one's shorter because the FD20 was 2 AA lights, so it was actually significantly taller than this. The FD20, the rotating head was pretty easy. I mean, it wasn't loose. There was no worry about it shifting on its own, but this one is much tighter. So something I kept goofing on, I just did it right there, was if I had fingers down here when I'm working the head, I would actually end up loosening the tail cap a little bit. So, I mean, it's not really a negative, but it would be nice if this was a little bit easier to rotate. I have a friend that has one of these too, and his is also pretty stiff there, and he's had his, I don't know, six months to a year longer than I've had mine. We'll say 6 months because I'm not sure this has actually even been out for an entire year yet. Maybe it has, but at least 6 months longer than mine. He's had his. So, but yeah, I like it overall. So let's go ahead and check out some indoor beam shots here. Okay, so I've got the camera turned around, and we're just to show the functionality of this. So that's the eco mode there, and we'll go ahead and just do this briefly. And medium, high, turbo, right? Eco, low, medium, high, and then turbo. So on camera, the difference between high and turbo didn't look significant, at least on the camera screen. Hopefully on a good display it'll actually look significantly different, because it does in real life. It's very noticeable different just on the camera screen there, and this is unfocusing. So you can see it just spreads that light out nice and even. But there's a little bit of a hot spot still, very broad, but you can see a little bit more intensity in the middle, and it looks like the camera's catching that about as well as my eye is. And that's the turbo there, I think. Yeah, so eco, low, medium, high, turbo. So you can see it, turbo. So it's focused all the way down there. And when you focus this thing all the way down, as tight as it'll go, it actually, you get a pretty significant more range to it. But it's kind of nice. It adds a little bit of versatility to it, to the whole lining, at least to the FD20 and to this one, because I've actually owned and used quite a bit both of them. And most of the time I ended up having it somewhere around there. I mean, you get the nice hot spot there, and you can bloom it out a little bit, so you can do pretty much whatever you want. But I ended up using it like that for the most part, right around there, and you can see the as it spreads out, it leaves like a hole in the middle there. So I just got in the habit of calling it the donut of light. I don't know why that's what came to mind, but I liked it. It stuck, so there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some drop and water tests here. Alright, so we get our Fenix FD30 out of the water here. Go ahead and get it all nice and dry. Take a look at it, check the modes out. And not sure, I've had this in light rain. I didn't have it in very heavy rain yet. But it hasn't given me any trouble in any way with anything. Alright, so it's on. Momentary constant. Yeah, it looks like that works. Check the modes. Strobe, yep, strobe works. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything in there. Well, I guess we could check that. Put on the lowest mode. Alright, so nothing got in on the focusing ring there. But yeah, I don't see anything in there. Let's crack it open, take a look here. Nothing in the tail cap that I can see. I mean, you got the thread grease on there and that's it. Battery looks dry. Yeah, okay. Pass waterproof test. So overall, I think this is a good light. I think brand new on the Fenix site, they are still going for $70, I think it is, 71. I think they might be, right now at the time that I'm recording this video, I think they might still be offering a free battery with it. I'm not sure if it's the kind that has a micro USB port to charge them on there or not. But if you do buy this, make sure buy it from, well, wherever you buy it from. I got it from Fenix Lighting, and if you sign up for an account with them, they gave me a discount code, and I think they still do that with everyone. So the $70 will be less than that. I think it's a 20% off code. That's what it was before. Not sure if they're still doing it. But there we go. So I'll put some beam shots here. Fenix FD30, waterproof, drop impact resistant, focusing flashlight, single 18650, max output 900 lumens. And it's a good product. If you're looking for something, this is another light that can fill most billets if you're looking for one light to do everything kind of thing. And if you buy it from Fenix, I'm pretty sure they still have batteries. So if you don't already have batteries that work in it, if you get it from them, then you'll be all set. Alright guys, as always, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video at all or found it helpful. Consider liking or consider subscribing, please. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you on that. Alright, thanks everyone.